Fantastic Four is easily one of the best teams in the Marvel Universe, and since First Steps just hit theaters, I decided to play a game based on the first Fantastic Four movie from 20 years ago. Considering this game was released years before PlayStation trophies existed, and 6 months before Xbox achievements were added, there was no official list to use for this 100%, so I had to take matters into my own hands. I tried to keep this as similar to an actual list as I could, meaning there were achievements for finding collectibles, defeating bosses, leveling up the characters, and of course, doing random stuff in combat. This game came out a couple weeks prior to the movie it's based on back in the summer of 2005. And I think inspired by works better in this scenario because it follows the same plot, but takes you on a much longer path to the end. The characters were voiced by their real life actors though, so that's pretty cool. Speaking of that longer path I mentioned, the 38 levels took place across multiple locations and featured a number of villains not even referenced in the movie. As for collectibles, there was only one type that I actually had to collect in the levels. They were called F4 Secrets and were just this token with the team's logo on it. Grabbing these unlocked interview videos with the directors and the GOAT Stan Lee, as well as maps for the arena mode, which I'll go into more detail on later. The other collectibles are what you're seeing on screen now, but they were unlocked using points I earned through the game. Okay, I think that's all you need to know for right now. The game started with an introduction of the team. There was Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, siblings Susan and Johnny Storm, Invisible Woman and Human Torch, and Ben Grimm, the Thing. It also explained how they were employees of Von Doom Industries, a company owned by Victor Von Doom. We got a glimpse of a seemingly defeated mystery villain right before Ben asked,
"How in the name of Miss Sweet Aunt Petunia did I get here anyway?"
And I got to find that answer. It all started on one of Doom's space stations where these 4 fantastic astronauts were stationed and preparing for an incoming cosmic storm. As Ben, I was tasked with sealing the windows. While I was doing that, I picked up the first collectible of the game, which unlocked achievement number 1 and officially began this journey. Unfortunately, I didn't seal those other windows fast enough, and the storm hit the station. I woke up in a hospital as Reed, and luckily, the only jammed door in the entire building was on this room. You know, the one with the guy that can do this. Out in the hallway, I met the game's first enemies, Doom's security robots, and after taking a few of them out, I unlocked the Stretch Punch ability. When I finished the level, I completed an optional side objective to not die, and I guess since the game counted it this time, I will too. In the following levels, I played as Human Torch, Invisible Woman, and The Thing, familiarizing myself with their movesets. The 3 of them also had special abilities like Whirlwind, Sonic Blast, and Cosmic Jump. For performing each character's cosmic ability, I got the next achievement. The hospital security system sent an Ultra Bot to deal with Ben, but the rest of the team was right behind it. The first mini boss fight ensued, and I got the bot with a takedown. After that, it was time to make a new door. And Ben ran away. During that fight, I didn't use any ranged attacks, so I was able to pick up. Ben ran all the way to Brooklyn from wherever that hospital was and stopped these thugs in their tracks. Then he proceeded to take out every single one of them, including their boss. And that girl he saved was Alicia Masters. Spoiler alert, his future wife. Before I fought that boss, I collected this super token, which basically just made me very overpowered temporarily. Activating this for the first time unlocked me an achievement. The rest of the group caught up with Ben and helped him save this bridge full of people. This heroic act made him realize that they could use their gifts for good. Also, I completed that level in less than 5 minutes for another achievement. By now, the team had gotten their stuff together and responded to a report of a mole man unleashing creatures in the subway. Ben and Reed got there first, but Mole Man was able to escape. leaving behind 2 spawners that infinitely produced those creatures called moloids. I used this opportunity to go for another achievement, One Man Army, where I had to take down 50 enemies as one character in a level, but I kinda lost count and just kept letting them spawn until I knew I had enough. Alicia was also down there. She just couldn't catch a break apparently. But once the subway was clear, Johnny attacked the source of the moloids and got them to stop spawning. From there, the team regrouped in the streets where this happened. This was the first actual boss of the game, Molof. To defeat this guy, I just waited until he smacked the ground and trapped his arm in a force field as Invisible Woman. Mole Man clearly didn't make these guys to be smart because he proceeded to smack the ground with his other hand, allowing himself to be completely trapped. And while he was, Reed punched him in the face repeatedly.
So much for the mighty Mole Man. My work ruined.
Also during that fight, I played as every character, which unlocked the United We Stand achievement. Then Victor popped in after the conflict, as one does, and was all mad that Reed put Susan in harm's way. The team told him that the only person who needed help was Ben, but when they asked, he just stood there, silently. Like, what happened after the scene faded to black? Did he keep standing there? Okay, so now we're in Guatemala, where I had to find meteors from that storm for Reed to study. While I was there, I defeated 10 enemies using objects from the environment. Then, for the first time, I got an F4 secret that I actually had to complete a puzzle for. And now, it finally felt right to unlock the achievement for finding all 1 collectibles in a level. I was introduced to Diablo, who was trying to
Harness the power of the gods to rule all mankind.
Then I found an Aztec temple, and Diablo commanded a small army of statue monsters to attack me when I went in. After surviving the ambush, the whole team caught up with Diablo at the cosmic meteor. It was time for another boss fight, and this one required me to attack Diablo in between his phases as a rock monster. I didn't really know what was going on during this game, to be honest. Anyway, after he was defeated, the team won the meteor and brought it back to the lab for testing. We made our way to a museum where Alicia was captured in one of the exhibits by this guy, and after fighting through hordes of mummies and dinosaurs— is that a dinosaur? I made it to the control room and freed her. From there, I took down the Mummy King, fixed the sprinklers to put the fire out, and defeated the next boss, the Horus statue. And this is the part of the game where I really started to wonder what was going on. This just felt a little too random. I don't really know. In Times Square, a setting that actually makes sense,
Reed needs me now more than ever. I'm sorry, Victor.
Reed. Always Reed. If there was no Reed, then what would you do?
and he sent the Doombots to take us out. One of them was indestructible and equipped with infinite rockets, but we managed to escape anyway. In another cutscene, we saw Victor begin to, change.
What am I becoming?
Ben and Johnny made their way to the rest of the team in Times Square and took down the indestructible Doombot right before getting a visit from a surprise guest.
With great power comes great collateral damage.
Fury took the team into custody at S.H.I.E.L.D.'s underground prison, the Vault, but someone or something freed the prisoners, starting a riot. And to get this level's F4 secret, I had to do the most unnecessarily difficult thing in this game: return all 10 prisoners to their cells. Only, it wasn't just the prisoners I had to worry about, it was also the prison's security robots that were attacking both me and the prisoners. In total, I attempted this like 6 times before I finally returned all the inmates. Oh my god. That was so unnecessarily hard. I can't, oh my god. That took me so many tries. Okay, I secured it. Nice. Oh, and I also freed Ben. Later on, there was a cameo from one of the Fantastic Four's rogues.
Master, release me, and together we can destroy this infernal place.
Downstairs, I disabled the mainframe, which freed someone named Dragon Man and opened Blastar's cell. And, well, he lied.
I lied.
But there was a hidden achievement for taking him down. Sue and Johnny caught up with the aforementioned Dragon Man, who I didn't know was a real character until right now when I looked him up. Unfortunately, before I could take him down, he escaped. We finally crossed paths with Dragon Man again, but this time he wouldn't get away. I spammed Johnny's fireball attack to dwindle down his health, hitting Reed with a few in the process. But eventually I was able to defeat Dragon Man for good. Fury met the team at the top of the elevator and requested that they joined him, although they didn't have much of a choice.
I want every result in that lab killed on sight.
What lab?
The teleporter will take you there.
When they went through the portal, the team was split up. Reed and Ben were together on one side of the lab, with Sue and Johnny on the other. And the lab had been altered. At the end of this dizzying level, I faced Annihilus, but he got away before I could land the final hit. With the team regrouped, we destroyed a plasma worm and earned our freedom back from Fury. He also gave us a spaceship for the trouble. The team returned to the space station from the beginning of the game, and I restored the power as Johnny. Then we learned that the cosmic storm altered more than just the team. Here's the evidence. Another fairly simple boss fight, just had to attack its weak point when it became vulnerable. From there, I made my way to the station's reactor complex. I disabled the core's shield generator, activated the maintenance ramp, and rerouted the reactor's power, all before overriding the main computer to destroy the station for good.
Whoa! How much money do you think Victor just lost?
2.64 billion.
Put that one on Reed's tab.
The team returned to the city to celebrate their victory, but little did they know, things were about to get a little victory. I'm so sorry. Ben and Johnny defended the courtyard of the Baxter building, while Reed worked to get the turrets back online. Inside, I got to take control of this turret and hold off even more robots in what was easily one of my favorite sequences of the game. Victor came down the elevator and somehow convinced Ben to follow him to the lab, where he was captured.
This is a man embracing his destiny.
Reed and Susan fought their way through the building until they made it to a lab with a mech in it, and as a way to one-up the previous level, I got to control it and hold off more robots than last time. Reed, Susan, and Johnny made it to the roof where they found Victor. I mean...
The name is Dr. Doom now.
Your name is gonna be Toast.
There was a boss fight here, obviously, but it was quick. Too quick.
This ends now!
Ben, can you read me? We need your help on the roof! Ben!
How in the name of my sweet Aunt Petunia did I get here anyway?
Back as Ben, who was just a regular dude now, I had to fight my way back to the conversion chamber so he could become the Thing again.
The Thing is back, baby. It's clobbering time.
On the roof, Doom was preparing to end the rest of the Fantastic Four. That was until...
Doom!
The Thing lives, the Thing dies.
Not if I have anything to say about it. It's clobbering time.
And I ran right up to Doom and did this on the first try. I followed Doom to the roof I threw him on and continued the clobbering. The fight made its way to street level where the Thing stood against Doom, ready for their final showdown. But at the last minute, Ben was joined by the other 3 Fantastic Ones, all of whom were at 5% opacity. This fight was much easier than I expected. We had to get as many hits in on Doom as we could. Then Johnny used a supernova attack to hold him still, and Sue placed a force field around it to contain the blast. But this had somewhat of an adverse effect, because it only made Doom stronger. Now he was walking around like a napalm zombie from Shangri-La, and was also... But after a certain amount of hits, Ben was able to grab him, allowing Reed to direct the water from a nearby fire hydrant towards him and put an end to his madness. During that boss fight, I also picked up the last F4 secret, and with that, the main story came to an end. After the story, there wasn't much to clean up. I just had to acquire enough cosmic credits to fully max out the team's abilities and buy the collectibles. To gather these points, I needed to replay the game, but thanks to a nice little trick, I was able to run through these levels with infinite cosmic power, which meant, all in all, I beat the entire game in about 2.5 hours, and along the way, I got all the credits I needed. I maxed out Johnny in the underground, Sue back in that damn prison, Reed in the shield lab, and Ben back at the Baxter building. There was still some more saving to do because those collectibles would run a fair bit of credits as well, but when I had enough, in this last phase of the achievement hunt, I completed the 2 arena fight modes, Survival and Guard Granny, as well as the 3 bonus levels, Hell, Latveria 1, and Latveria 2. There was only one achievement for each arena mode. I needed to defeat any opponent on hard mode in Survival, and protect Granny for 3 minutes. I chose the Barge Arena for the survival challenge and faced off against the Yancey Street Thugs. This wasn't too difficult, especially now that my team was maxed out, and all it took was a few minutes of cosmic attack spamming to unlock.
Objectives updated.
I guarded Granny in the middle of Brooklyn against these little moloid guys, and to even attempt 3 minutes, I had to put it on hard mode as well. But before that, I needed to complete it on easy, which was 1 minute, then medium, which was 2.
Objectives updated.
For the bonus levels, I started with Hell. I unlocked this one by finding all the F4 secret tokens, and I find it hilariously ironic that this game's depiction of Hell is just any Falmer cave from Skyrim. Those things suck. But anyway, I took down 2 Seal Guardians to open this first gate, then on the other side I faced the Gatekeeper to proceed to the next area. There, the rest of the team joined me and we took down the champion, a Minotaur, and earned our way out of HE double hockey sticks. The other 2 were unlocked by completing the game on the medium and hard difficulties, and no, they weren't stackable. In Latveria 1, Reed and Susan had to meet with a contact of theirs to get information on one of Dr. Doom's missiles. There was this random little squirrel on the way there, which I didn't see anywhere else in the game, but this informant told them to infiltrate Doom's castle by stowing away on his sky barge. In the next section, this lady blew Johnny's cover when she screamed from seeing a flying man made of fire. Eventually, I commandeered the barge and suffered through this painfully long section of fighting robots, all for this. Invisible Woman was able to infiltrate the castle, and thanks to her ability, I snuck past just about every enemy. and sabotaged Doom's evil villain laser cannon. From there, Reed and Johnny reached the throne room and found the missile. Doom escaped, but they were able to deactivate the AA guns before moving on to the missile silo. The team regrouped at the bottom of the silo, where they had 10 minutes to stop the rocket from launching. And after breaking through the robot defenses, Reed and Sue made it to the control room. Doom got away, but the F4 were able to stop the missile.
We detected a launch, but it's not a nuke.
It was Doom's escape pod. The missile has been secured.
Great work, F4. I owe you one.
And that's it. That's every achievement that I added to Fantastic Four 2005. Fantastic Four held up surprisingly well for being 20 years old. I played on a copy for the original Xbox on my 360 and ran it without any issues. The gameplay was actually fun, and seeing some of the lesser talked about villains from the comics is always a huge plus. As I was playing, I didn't really understand why it was taking me literally around the world, but they somehow made it make sense. Or at least as much sense as it could make. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and make sure you're subbed if you aren't already. I'm trying to hit 10K by the end of the year. I've been saying this, and I promise I'll get around to it, but I am putting together a platinum wheel, so please drop some suggestions for that in the comments. I hope you all have a great day. See you in the next one. Peace out.